Have you ever felt a deep, aching loneliness? Not just because you're alone, but because something inside you feels unseen, unheard, unknown. It's not the kind of loneliness that comes from a lack of company. It's the kind that lingers even in a crowded room, a quiet, haunting feeling that no one, not even those closest to you, truly understands what you're carrying. This is spiritual loneliness. It's not sadness, it's not depression. It's something softer, deeper, a silence of the soul, calling out for something real, something eternal. You begin to feel like a stranger in your own life, disconnected from conversations, from patterns, from old identities. You start to ask, what's happening to me? Why do I feel so different, so alone? But this phase, this sacred solitude, is not a mistake. It is the beginning of your transformation, because spiritual loneliness is often the soul's first whisper that it's time to awaken. In this video, we're diving deep into the mystery. Why do we experience spiritual loneliness? What does it mean? And how can this painful chapter become the most powerful part of your evolution? You're not broken, you're not lost, you are simply becoming. And that journey begins in the silence. What is spiritual loneliness? Spiritual loneliness isn't about being physically isolated. It's the sense that no one else truly gets you. You may feel like you're speaking a language no one else understands. Old conversations start to feel shallow. Social events feel draining. Even loved ones may not feel close anymore. This kind of loneliness is the soul calling out for something deeper, a connection to purpose, truth, and the divine. It often begins after a spiritual awakening or during a dark night of the soul. Spiritual loneliness isn't just the absence of people. It's the presence of a deep inner disconnection, a feeling that no matter where you are, no one truly sees you. You might be surrounded by loved ones, laughing, talking, sharing space, and yet inside, you feel like a ghost, like your soul is speaking a language no one around you understands. The conversations you once enjoyed now feel hollow. Small talk becomes unbearable. Social gatherings begin to drain your energy rather than restore it. Even with the people you love most, something feels distant. And that's when it begins. A slow but powerful stirring within you, the soul crying out for something deeper. A truth that can't be found in external validation. A purpose that can't be fulfilled by routine or reputation. This kind of loneliness isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. It arises when your soul is ready to evolve, to shed the old layers and reach for something higher. It is the hunger for meaning, the ache for connection to the divine. Often, this loneliness follows a spiritual awakening, a moment when the veil lifts, and suddenly you see through everything you once believed, or it arrives as part of the dark night of the soul. A deep period of collapse, where all that was familiar begins to fall away. But make no mistake, this pain is not a punishment, it is a calling, an invitation to leave behind the noise and journey inward where the real connection begins. There comes a moment on the spiritual path when something inside of you breaks open, not in destruction, but in revelation. The illusions you once lived by begin to dissolve. Material success, fame, external validation no longer feed the hunger inside your soul. You start to see through the game, the race for titles, for things, for approval. And in the silence that follows, you ask the questions you've been avoiding your whole life. Who am I really? Why am I here? What is real? And what is just noise? This is the beginning of awakening. It can feel powerful, like discovering a truth that was buried inside you all along. It can feel like remembering something ancient. But with awakening comes a cost. The people and places that once felt like home suddenly feel distant, out of sync. You try to speak your truth, but others just don't understand. Small talk feels unbearable. Your old interests no longer excite you. Even your friendships may begin to fall away. And so begins the isolation. Not because you want to leave others behind, but because your soul is climbing to a higher frequency, and not everyone is ready to climb with you. You begin to walk alone, not in despair, but in sacred solitude, because now you are no longer asleep, you are awakening. Spiritual loneliness isn't a punishment, it's a sacred preparation. It's your soul's way of gently pulling you out of the noise so you can hear the whisper within. The world around you becomes quieter. Not because you've lost connection, but because your connection is being rewired. You are shedding distractions, old relationships that no longer align, beliefs that kept you small, habits that numbed your light, and most of all, you are letting go of an identity that was never truly you. It can feel disorienting. You may question everything. You may grieve who you used to be, but this is the beginning of coming home to your true self. The solitude is not meant to break you. It's meant to strip away all that is not you, so what remains is real, raw, unshakable. This is the chrysalis phase, where the old version of you dissolves and the new soul is born from silence. In this sacred space, you begin to remember that you are not your job, your past, your name, or your status. You are not here to perform or pretend. You are here to be, to reconnect with the deepest parts of your spirit, the wild, the ancient, the divine. And so you walk alone, not as a sign of exile, but as a rite of passage. This loneliness may intensify into something known as the dark night of the soul, a period of spiritual crisis where everything seems to fall apart. Faith, meaning, connection, gone. You may feel abandoned by God or question if your spiritual path was ever real. But this too is sacred. Because in the darkness, your soul is shedding everything false. What's left behind is what's eternal. The real you. There is a stage on the spiritual path where the silence becomes louder than ever. The loneliness deepens, and everything you thought you knew collapses. This is known as the dark night of the soul. It can arrive suddenly, triggered by loss, trauma, illness, or a slow erosion of meaning. You wake up one day and realize nothing feels real anymore. Your faith, gone. Your prayers, unanswered. The love you once felt from the universe, now just an echo. You may feel abandoned by God, as if the very path that once brought you peace has betrayed you. You question everything. You wonder if it was all in your head. You ask, was I ever really awake, or was I just chasing a dream? But listen closely. This darkness is not your end. It is your purification. It is your initiation. The dark night is not here to destroy you. It is here to burn away everything that is not eternal. Every illusion, every attachment, every spiritual mask you once wore is falling away because your soul is demanding truth. And the truth is this: you were never meant to find your power outside of you. You were meant to find it within. The dark night strips you raw so that what's left is unbreakable, unshakable, real. This isn't a punishment, it's a rebirth. And if you are walking through this darkness now, hold on, because even in the night, your soul is still guiding you. You are not lost. You are transforming. There comes a moment on this sacred journey when your soul whispers, it's time to let go. Spiritual loneliness isn't here to hurt you. It's here to strip away what no longer serves you. And the ego, oh, how it resists. It craves certainty. It clings to comfort. It fears being misunderstood. But your soul doesn't seek comfort. It seeks truth. You begin to release the relationships that drain you, the patterns that keep you small, the beliefs that once defined you, but now feel too tight, like old clothes you've outgrown. You stop chasing approval. You stop needing others to get it, because somewhere deep inside, you're beginning to get yourself. This phase is often quiet, sometimes painful, but also breathtakingly beautiful. It's not abandonment, it's alignment. You are not losing yourself. You are shedding everything that was never you. And as the old falls away, you start to feel lighter, clearer, more you. This is sacred disconnection. Not to isolate you, but to prepare you. Because only when your hands are empty can you receive what's truly meant for you. And in the stillness, something begins to shift. You realize you were never truly alone. You were simply being led inward. Spiritual loneliness guides you back home, not to people, but to presence, to God, to source, to the divine spark within you. You stop seeking validation outside because you found connection inside. And then, in the stillness, something shifts, not outside of you, but within. You stop chasing, you stop searching, and you begin to feel a warmth, a knowing, a quiet truth rising from deep inside your being. You were never truly alone. You were simply being led inward. Spiritual loneliness wasn't punishment. It was the invitation to come home, not to people, not to approval, but to presence, to God, to source, to the divine spark that has always lived within you. You begin to realize you are not disconnected. You were just disconnected from yourself. And as you return to the stillness of your soul, you rediscover what religion tried to explain, what books tried to describe, what the world tried to sell: divinity, unfiltered, living and breathing in you. You stop seeking validation from the outside because now You found the eternal connection inside. And in that quiet place, where no one else can follow, you remember, you are never alone. You are all that is, remembering itself. Once you've met yourself in the silence, you begin to reconnect, but differently. Now, your relationships are deeper, your conversations more meaningful. You attract people who see you, not just your mask. You no longer need to fit in, because you found your place within yourself. Once you've met yourself in the silence, once you've embraced the divinity that lives inside you, you begin to reconnect with the world. But this time, it's different. You no longer seek to belong, because you've already found your place within yourself. Your relationships shift. What once felt superficial now feels deep. Conversations that once revolved around empty pleasantries now resonate with meaning. Every word spoken holds weight. You stop wearing the mask of who you think you should be, because you've discovered the truth of who you are. You start attracting people who see you, not the persona you've constructed to fit in. They see your heart, your essence, your light. And as you give yourself permission to be fully authentic, you begin to experience real connection. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to chase validation, because now your connection with others is based on truth. You share your wisdom without fear of judgment. You offer your love without expecting anything in return. And you walk alongside others, but in perfect harmony with who you are, no longer searching, no longer lost. You find that you don't have to be at the center of the crowd anymore. You don't have to prove your worth. Your worth is inherent. You are whole. And so, you move through the world with quiet confidence. You are no longer lonely. You are part of the whole, but uniquely you and beautifully connected. Spiritual loneliness is not a dead end. It's a doorway, a sacred rite of passage. And if you're in it right now, know that you're not alone. You're awakening. You're expanding. You're remembering your divine self. Spiritual loneliness is not a dead end. It's not a road to nowhere. It's a doorway, a sacred rite of passage, an invitation to enter a deeper level of being, to remember who you are and why you came here. In the quiet moments when you feel the weight of your solitude, know that you are not alone. You are in the process of awakening. The loneliness you feel is not a punishment. It's the shedding of the old layers, the old stories that no longer serve you. It's the clearing of space for something new, for something greater. This phase is a bridge to your higher self, to your divine essence. The journey may be long. At times it may feel isolating, but you are expanding, you are evolving, you are remembering your true self, the self that existed before the world taught you who to be, the self that is pure love, pure light, pure divinity. And as you embrace this journey, you will find that you are becoming whole again. You will remember the love that is always within you and the connection to Source that never left. So if you're in this phase right now, take a deep breath, trust the process, and know this: you are exactly where you are meant to be. The journey ahead is full of infinite potential. Let this loneliness guide you home, because when the soul feels alone, it's only calling itself back to the truth.